What do you do for a living?
I'm living in the Tláhuac.
Okay, perfect, man. Don't worry.
Where the investment in infrastructure.
Hey Sonatafy team, you've probably been in this situation before. As a non-native English speaker, you can talk without fluency and create the best stories in your mind. But when you have to face a real job interview or a public talk, you freeze, and then you start talking like a 4-year-old kid. Trust me, been there multiple times. For some people this happens because they don't actually know the language well enough. But for the sake of this video, we'll assume that you really know the language. So why is it that you keep struggling? If you don't know what you're talking about, it's relatively normal to get nervous. Unless you're a freaking good actor, a good improviser, or a good liar. But if you're not in that specific category of people, you shouldn't feel bad. This problem is extremely common. By the way, right now I'm not speaking from my heart. I've memorized all this information before I started recording this video. In fact, if I try to improvise and start talking about something else, I'll probably have a hard time. But there you have it, the first tip. Preparation will help.
You see this right here? This is the triangle of speaking failure. Lack of practice gets you nervous, then you can't speak, and if you can't speak, you're not practicing, and the cycle repeats. There are a few areas of our brain that compose the linguistic cortex, which give us the ability to speak. Just as with any other skill, you must train the linguistic cortex to be able to speak freely. You already know that being fluent in your mind doesn't mean that you're fluent in the real world. But now, let's say you've practiced 10,000 hours and you still have the same problem. Well then, your problem is psychological, and in fact, this is a category where most people fall in. The primitive part of your brain, the amygdala, is being activated for the wrong reasons. You see the situation as dangerous, you are afraid of being judged, and you're afraid to fail. So your body starts releasing chemicals such as adrenaline, which make you sweat, breathe rapidly, act all jittery and hesitant. You see the interviewer and the situation as a threat when they are not.
Unfortunately, there isn't a magic formula to fix this problem because we're different. But there are a lot of things that you can try. You just have to figure out what works best for you. For example, for me, pretending like I already failed the interview worked like a charm. Now I see the situation as it really is. I'll talk to a random dude, we don't care about each other, he'll just verify if I have what it takes to get the job, and I'll demonstrate that I do. End of story. Of course you can take your own approach, this is just an example.
Remember that you're making an extra effort by speaking in a different language, so try to keep it simple. You don't have to sound like a native, but you have to be totally clear in your speech.
If you don't know something during the interview, just say it. I don't know. It's not the end of the world. Honesty will pay off.
Pretend you're an actor only if you like it.
If you know that you can provide some value to the company, that's a reason to gain some self-confidence too. I can't stress this enough. You have to focus on your thoughts. Analyze them until you realize that they're irrational. There's no reason to be afraid. The interviewer is not gonna kill you. You're not jumping out of an airplane or battling a shark. It's just a job interview. It's not easy, but you'll make it. See you in the next one.